All right, so today we're going to learn two different things in our graphing calculator. We are going to learn how to multiply matrices in the calculator and how to find the inverses of matrices in our calculator. These are two options that in this course you're not going to learn how to do by hand. So because of that, very important that you actually know how to do it in the calculator since you do not learn a by hand option for this. So first thing that is really important, and you can tell that because I put it in big letters. When you go to multiply two matrices, the middles must match when we're talking about their dimensions. So let's say that you have a cute little guy that is a 1 by 2 matrix. So your rows by your columns, 1 row, 2 columns, so it's a little baby matrix. In order to be able to multiply a matrix with these dimensions times another matrix, the middle dimensions have to match. So this has to match what's over here in the second matrix. So it doesn't matter how many columns the second matrix has, but in order to multiply a 1 by 2 matrix by something, it has to have 2 as its number of rows. So this must be a 2 in order to multiply them. This could be anything. I could make that a 13 if I wanted to and make it really huge, and that would be fine. I could just pick 3. But either way, the middles must match. So 2, 2 in the middle. Also, just so you know, so that you can check yourself, when you do that, these middles cross out. The answer matrix is going to be 1 by 3. The other thing that it's really important to understand before we actually start pressing the buttons on our calculator is that the order is important. So if it tells you to do matrix A times matrix B, that means you have to put in matrix A first. So matrix multiplication is not commutative, meaning that the order is important. Matrix A times matrix B is not the same as matrix B times matrix A, like it would be with real numbers. So very important to keep that in mind. So there's your background info. Now we're going to get started on actually pressing the buttons. So I've got example matrices here. So in order to enter a matrix, we're going to press second and then this X inverse key. So second, and then here's the key we're looking for. You can tell because it says matrix above it. And then we are going to scroll right to edit. So over to the edit menu, and then we're just going to choose a letter. So in this case, I'm just going to choose A since it's the first. Okay, and so once we've chosen the matrix letter that we're going to use, we have to enter its dimensions. So matrix A here has 2 rows and 2 columns. So 2, enter, 2, enter for the dimensions. And notice that as I did that, it automatically made my matrix the correct size. Now I'm going to put the entries in. When you do the entries, it goes row first, and then it'll skip to the second row once you're done with the first. You can just press enter in between. So I have 1 and then 4. So 1, enter, 4, enter, and then see it automatically goes to the second row. -7, make sure you use the negative key and not the subtraction key, and then 6. So now I've got matrix A entered. I can press second mode because that's the quit command. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing for the other matrix. So matrix B here. So second matrix menu, scroll over to edit. Don't put it in the same place because if I want to use matrix A, I now need a different one. Matrix B has 2 rows and 3 columns, so 2 by 3. Notice it makes the size correct, and then I put the entries, 8, enter, 5, enter, -1, enter. It skips to the second row, -4, enter, 4, enter, -9, enter. Always double check because obviously if you enter something incorrectly, you're going to get the wrong answer. So I can quit out of there, and I've got those ready to go. So it tells me to find matrix A times matrix B and matrix B times matrix A. So to actually do the multiplication, that's step 5. So I'm going to go back to that matrix menu, but this time I'm going to stay on the name screen. So choose the first matrix. So for this one, the first letter is A. So I'm going to press 1 to choose it. And then I'm going to do times. And then I'm going to go second matrix, and I'm going to choose matrix B this time. So now it says matrix A times matrix B. I press enter, and it gives me the actual result. So now we can record our answer there. So going straight across, I've got -8, 21, -37, -8, 21, -37, and then -80, -11, -47. And that is our product. So we have now multiplied. Then it wants us to do matrix B times matrix A. So if I do that, I've already got all the matrices entered. So I just go second, matrix menu. This time I'm going to choose matrix B first, times, and then I do the same thing. Choose A and press enter. Now, people panic when they see this. They're like, oh, I did something wrong. My calculator isn't working. Read what it says. It says error, dimension, mismatch. So that alone should tell you what the problem is. These matrices cannot be multiplied in that order because their middles don't match. You could click 2 to go to, and it just tells you, hey, you can't multiply matrix B by matrix A. It's telling you to try to switch matrix A there in this case. So here, we would say this is not possible because we've got a 2 by 2 multiplied by a 2 by 3. On our first one, so that was this one, and that worked because the middles matched. But this one, we had B first, which is a 2 by 3, and we were trying to multiply it by a 2 by 2. And so in this case, the middles did not match. So it is not possible to take matrix B times matrix A. Okay. Other thing we need to do should be pretty quick because we've already got our matrices entered. So to find the inverse of a matrix, you are going to go to that same matrix screen. So let me clear that out. So second matrix. Now this whole thing is, the first 3 steps are just telling you how to enter the matrix. We already have them entered, so we don't need to do that again. So we can actually just skip straight to step 4. So I choose the matrix that I want. So I'm going to do matrix A. And then I just hit this button by itself, not second this time. That is the notation for inverse of matrix A. And I just press enter. Now, look at how crazy that looks. Remember, you can convert anything to a fraction by choosing math, choice 1, enter, and then we have very lovely fractions. So A, matrix A inverse equals, and then we can write our answers in fraction form. So I've got 3/17 and -2/17. And then in row 2, I've got 7/34 and 1/34. Now, just so you know, some matrices do not have inverses. So if you get an error message, then it could be that the inverse for that particular matrix is just not possible.